Hi, Pooja.
Hi, Dr. Sushi. Guys, please deal with that. Very warm welcome to you.
Hi, Pooja.
Hi, can you hear me? Am I audible to you?
Yes, I can hear you very well. How are you?
I'm good, and I hope. Okay, one second. I think there's an issue. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you very well.
Perfect, perfect. So I have already briefed my audiences who the guest is going to be, and please tell something about yourself.
Oh, you always start with the tough questions, don't you?
Yeah.
So, I am Sushri and I'm a counseling psychologist. And, when we talk about psychologists, everyone is wondering I can read your mind, which is not true. I'm someone who tries to treat people based on what you just said in the introduction, those who are suffering from anxiety, from depression. We try to look at what's going on and we try to help them come out of these really difficult phases of their lives. That's what I do.
Right, right, right. So, Sushi, as we have previously discussed about the topics that we're going to cover today,
Sure,
let's take a step now, and
absolutely.
we can start with body shaming first.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you what my thoughts are on the topic. I personally feel that issues like body shaming and bullying, it's got more to do with someone's childhood in the environment he or she is raised. uh, our mind has been conditioned in such a way that whatever we perceived uh, during our childhood was very much related to the people and society we were surrounded with. So I wish we were taught that the definition of beautiful is
Yeah,
not having a fair skin. That the
absolutely.
definition of beautiful is whatever skin complexion you have, and how it can be any body figure. It should be acceptable. It should have been acceptable. But we were not taught in the same manner. So
Right.
I think dark complexion is beautiful too, and all the body figures are beautiful, not just the slim ones. So we should have been taught in a certain manner. And let me tell you something.
Right.
A wrong projection and definition of perfection has been ingrained in us since our childhood. So, as an artist, you have no idea how much do we take, how much pressure I feel to look constantly good in front of the camera. And trust me, it's not easy. So even for people who are not in our industry, uh,
Right.
yeah, everyone wants to look their best.
Right.
Right? To be groomed is not a wrong thing. To look your best is not a wrong thing. But one should not be obsessive about this whole idea of faking perfection. After all, nothing is perfect. It's a lie.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is so true, Pooja. Like you just said, as young girls, somehow these messages have always been coming in from the outside environment, from the external environment, that, you've got to look good. Like you said, the fair skin is the more beautiful skin. People who are dusky are always under this complex that we are not pretty enough. In fact, I see a lot of people, young girls in my practice, who come in and they are telling me that, oh, I'm not going to get a date because I'm not pretty enough. All the pretty girls who are thin, who are slim, who have good skin, they have boyfriends while I don't have any guy chasing after me. And it almost breaks your heart to listen to a 14, 15-year-old girl say that to you, you know. And absolutely. And I think they are self-shaming because people outside have told them that you've got to look a certain way in order to be attractive. And you are absolutely right that these images, these messages start very early on in life. uh, can you imagine young girls are wondering that, no boyfriend, no guy will chase after me, mera koi boyfriend nahi banega kyunki I'm not pretty enough, you know and it's so difficult. In fact, while you're talking, something came to my mind right now, and this was a very interesting study which was done by psychologists. Okay, I can't remember which year was that, maybe 2 decades ago or 3 decades ago, in Fiji. Okay, what they did is, they studied how young girls who did not have exposure to TV, जिनके घरों में TV नहीं था, how did they see themselves versus those girls who had exposure to media? And they realized that young girls who did not have TV at home, they grew up with having such amazing ideas about themselves as compared to those girls who were, exposed to the media. They thought very badly of themselves. And, there are these two groups of girls who are similar in age groups, right? And one exposed to TV versus the other not exposed to TV, and how that influences their body image and their self-image. And so you're very right that media from a very young age is putting in these ideas into the heads of young boys and girls alike. I would not leave the boys aside, because I think a lot of men are also, they develop these complexes. They don't talk about it as often as women do, but boys have complexes too, right? So I think...
Sorry to interrupt you. I think there's the background, there's something, it's noisy in the background, so I think I need to switch off the fan while the
right.
Yeah?
Right.
I hope it should be better now.
Yeah. Is this okay? Can you hear me fine, Pooja?
Yeah, absolutely fine.
So like I was saying, young boys and girls alike are exposed to these demons of society. And such ideas have become so strong, Agar aap TV bhi nahi dekh rahe hain, there are these hoardings of good looking models, and there are these banners where people are like, wow, that person looks perfect. Why can I not look like that? So even if you're not someone who's addicted to TV, right? So society has images everywhere to make you feel insecure about yourself. So there is absolutely no lack of what society is offering to you to damage your image.
True. Very well explained, Sushri. So I think let's just move on to the next topic. Yeah?
Right.
So how should one ideally deal with personal losses, especially the current circumstances like during COVID, like losing a loved one or a heartbreak or missing out on job opportunities or being jobless temporarily or not having enough funds, source of steady income in the current scenario. What's your take on this?
So I don't know how you are dealing with this, Pooja, yourself, because we're all in it together. Because I had a very tough time initially when I realized that कि मेरे पास मरीज नहीं आएंगे because of the lockdown. So I think as a society we had never seen this before, this pandemic before, so neither of us knows better. But you're right, absolutely. A lot of people, because of this economic crash जो हुआ है, because of the lockdown, people have lost jobs, a lot of losses around income that have been massive. I think even TV industry, if I'm not wrong, people have been hit by lack of work, loss of, upcoming businesses. Of course, technology has made it a little easier through Netflix, Amazon Prime, through various web series. But I feel that everybody has lost work in some way or the other alike. So my answer to that question is there is no better answer, right? And I feel that what happens is in a situation like this, what I've seen with people, especially when they're dealing with loss, they are very focused on what's not happening in their lives. क्योंकि एक selective attention हो जाता है कि हमारी job नहीं है, security नहीं है. So they are all focusing on the negatives. And कहीं ना कहीं positive चीजें भी हुई है lockdown की वजह से. People are getting, to spend more time with their families. They're, getting more time to pursue their hobbies. I don't know how you have used your time in the lockdown.
Slowed down and people have started to relax more. And
right.
We can't deny the fact that the lockdown is, causing a lot of stress. And no matter how we try to stay positive, but we do get mood swings. And to ask me, I think we all have gone through the certain experiences like heartbreak or being an actor. Like I'm sitting at home because of Corona, and yes, it does take a toll on my health. We keep overthinking, but what I've realized is that worries, it's just going to add more stress in my life.
Absolutely.
And it's better to, accept the situation and focus on the 24 hours. Like we can set some small goals, like like waking up a bit early or doing a sketch or watching a nice movie or series or spending time with loved ones. So it is this stuff for sure.
this is exactly what I was going to say. You know, we have to start looking at the positives. Yeah, like what's happened good in our lives because of this corona situation. And like you said, you've got to be kinder to yourself and accept the situation rather than get so worried. You know, and I think a lot of people are not accepting the situation, and that's why so much worry has come up. And you've got to be kinder, I feel. You've got to be okay with not having certain things going your way. Routine kharab ho gaya. It's okay. You know, we are all in it together. So I feel that when you realize that everybody is together.
Yeah, I think the more you try to make peace with the fact that
absolutely,
and we can't do much about it, it's better to accept it and live with it and focus on the next 24 hours.
Surely, like, absolutely.
One day at a time.
Is that what you're doing, Pooja? Because your fans would like to know that and learn from you.
Yeah, actually, I've been lucky enough that I'm getting time to spend with my family during lockdown. Right. Touchwood, I'm living a very comfortable life. But my heart goes out to the people who are staying alone in this lockdown, who are stuck, who can't see their family members, or who can't meet their friends, and right. It must be hard on them for sure.
Very hard, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Right. So, Sushri, coming to the next question, in the present scenario, when the stress levels are getting worse, everyone reacts differently to stressful situations. Like, people even are thinking about, they are even getting suicidal thoughts.
Right.
And, unfortunately, some of them even succumb to those suicidal thoughts. So here's my next question. It's often difficult to imagine what leads our friends and family members to commit suicide. Is there any clear warning signs as a friend or family we should be aware of?
Right. So, Pooja, firstly, I'm really glad you're asking the right kinds of questions here, because these are such important questions which never get addressed. Koi bhi nahi puchta. So I'm really glad that you've been brave enough here. And especially when it comes to suicide, let's look at suicide, okay? Of course, there are warning signs, but we never take them very seriously. So suicide is related to mostly a mental health issue. You know, people are either, depressed a little bit before that. And when I use the word depressed, I don't mean it in a very loose fashion. I mean, there's a clinical depression that's happening there. So you will often see some signs as very prominent in most cases. Okay, this may not be true of all cases, but this is in most cases. Number one, you'll start seeing that the person is starting to probably, there's always, kabhi-kabhi aisa hota hai ki some people become very aloof. They are trying to withdraw from their families. They're trying to withdraw from their friends. You will see them becoming more and more lonely. You will see them not receiving your phone calls, not returning to your texts. And you'll see them that somehow they are starting to miss a lot of action, right? Number two, in many people, you will also see some changes in terms of not eating. You will see that their appetite has gone down. You will see that, right, there's a loss of appetite. There is a loss of sleep. They are not sleeping too well. You will see them being a little fidgety, right? And these are some very small nuances that go unnoticed. क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि यार एक दिन इंसान अच्छे से सोया नहीं है, but यार 1-2 हफ्ते लगातार आप देख रहे हो वो इंसान नहीं सोया है. It's got to be something more important. 1-2 हफ्ते से वो इंसान खाना नहीं खा रहा है. Somebody who used to at least eat 2 square meals a day is barely eating half a meal a day. You've got to be concerned. These are small signs.
What you're trying to say, if it doesn't happen overnight, we do get the signs, and we should be very careful, and we should be on the lookout of these signs. Like if our family is being aloof, then there is something to be concerned about, and we should actually look into the matter.
Right. But I'd like to correct you there. Some cases of suicide are impulsive. They do happen overnight, right? And usually एक बहुत बड़ा trigger होता है. Usually a very, very activating event that will make them come to that point. But in most cases, you'll also see some people having these signs and symptoms that I've just described a little over 2 weeks. And when they go unnoticed, कहीं ना कहीं confirmation भी हो जाती है. Nobody really cares about my changing patterns. So that kind of becomes more solid in their head that nobody has noticed that I'm not eating well. Nobody cares anything about me. So it's best that I end my life.
Okay, also Sushri, is it possible that the people who attempt suicide, they don't take the step because they really want to die. It can be simply because they feel helpless and they don't know how to get help.
Right. Right. You're so right at that, Pooja. So very often people are feeling, you will see this very prominently in those who are suicidal, who are contemplating suicide. They are still trying the permutations and combinations in their heads about committing suicide. They are feeling very helpless. And along with helpless, they feel very worthless, right? And they don't know what to do. And two things that happen. One is that one happens at the society level and the other happens at an individual level. At an individual level, they are, like you said, feeling extremely helpless. At a society level, what's really happening is that उनको लगता है कि हम लोगों पे बोझ बन रहे हैं. We are a burden to our friends. We are a burden to our parents. It's best that we end our lives. तो उनका जो burden है वो कम हो जाएगा. So two things are happening. When they are unable to meet the expectations of society, they are like, okay, let's just give up. क्योंकि मेरी वजह से इनको तकलीफें झेलनी पड़ रही है. And at the individual level, मेरे होने ना होने से कोई ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ तो नहीं रहा है, so might as well end your life. So this is how it works in the head of an individual.
Right. Okay, so here's my next question. Why is crying considered negative? Like, women are still okay with it. Men in particular, they're quite hesitant to express themselves. And then, like, they feel it's not very manly of them to be vulnerable or cry it out. So how do we break the stigma? And I'm sure this question will lighten to a lot of my male followers out there and friends.
Absolutely. I think you're right. Boys don't cry in our society. At least they're taught not to. And that is so sad, So I'll tell you two ways that it works, right? Men and women both get depressed. Both get clinically depressed. Depression ऐसी चीज है जो दोनों में होती है. It's just that it's more visible in women because they can cry, they can let out their fears, they can talk about their negativity. Right. And for men, what you see in most cases is that they are going towards alcoholism, drugs, and substances to deal with their sadness because they can't cry. So what they try to do is they try to adopt very, very unhealthy coping mechanisms of alcoholism, of substances which are harmful. Because अगर हम बैठ के रो नहीं सकते, at least हम बार पे तो जाके 2-4 दारू पी सकते हैं ना. So that is how men deal with their sadness.
That's what you're trying to say.
Sorry?
They try to find an alternative solution to the problem.
Right. Because women like you and I can, hold the phone and cry to another friend and be like, oh, my life is, absolutely bullshit. Right? But a man cannot do that. He cannot be seen crying. So he would rather be seen at a bar, spending his money on alcohol. And that is a very scary problem because depression ke saath you have to treat addiction problems too. And both of them, and alcohol is something that depresses you even further biologically. So the risk of suicide kind of becomes higher there.
Right. So, Sushi, do you think mindfulness is one of the tools to cope up with the stress, with the anxiety?
Absolutely. Mindfulness is a very well-researched intervention in depression and anxiety, like you said, even in stress. And it is something that has come up in a big way in the West, and it's traveling to the East, where people in India are also trying to use mindfulness to cope with anxiety and stress. And I want to just take 2 seconds of your time to explain what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is a kind of a meditative practice where you're trying to be more mindful of your thoughts, whether negative, whether positive. You're trying to be more mindful of your emotions, your feelings. Like if you're feeling angry right now, I've got to acknowledge I'm feeling angry. And the minute I acknowledge, I don't enact. I don't act on my anger, right? So it's basically watching yourself. But there are 2 elements of mindfulness if one is practicing that. One is that you've got to be very non-judgmental with yourself. You can't be like, मेरे को गुस्सा आ रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है? Can't be harsh on yourself. So be non-judgmental when you realize that things are not going well in your head. And number 2 element of mindfulness is you've got to be very, very compassionate towards yourself. You've got to be kind to yourself. So compassion and non-judgment are the 2 elements of mindfulness awareness.
Personally, I like to practice mindfulness in my life, a lot of time it helps because the moment I like encounter any stressful situation, I immediately try to divert my mind. I
Right.
am occupied with hobbies. I keep myself occupied with my little niece. I like to spend time with her. I watch something, or I would distract myself with music because there's no point stressing over things. And the moment I
Right.
realized meditation also helps, but with mindfulness, what I have realized is like it's important to come back to normal, to breathe in, to breathe out, to the sense of gratitude is important. To realize that rather than thinking about something which you can't change, it's better to accept the situation, to help to fill ourselves, with till rim with self-love. That is also more important.
That's
So
exactly. That's exactly. You've nailed it. Self-love is the key. You've got to be kind to yourself. You're absolutely right there.
right. So there's one more question. I think I've already asked you, but I would like you to tell me 2 more points about mood swings. Since everybody is going through mood swings during lockdown, and people are okay. The very moment you will see that the person is like all cheered up and feeling all peppy and all charged up, and in a couple of hours you will find the same person behaving in a irrational manner, total different mood. So and especially when you don't know, like life is so uncertain, and the pandemic, you have no clue as to for how long we are going to continue staying in this lockdown. So what do you have to say on this?
So I want to ask you, have you had mood swings during the lockdown?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So that's a good thing because I want to exactly emphasize on that. It's a very normal thing. We have different moods, so might as well experience different moods at different times in life. So I wouldn't call that mood swing as much as I would call experiencing different flavors of your mood, right? आपके mood कई किस्म के होते हैं, so just experience different flavors of your mood. And you're right, लॉकडाउन की वजह से ये एक्टिवेट जरूर होता है बिकॉज जो चीजें आप अवॉइड कर पाते थे बिकॉज यू हैड द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गेट आउट ऑफ योर हाउस बेसिकली
आप कहीं निकल नहीं सकते हो, आप किसी को मिल नहीं सकते, locked in your house.
Right. That is exactly why the mood swings are happening because हमारा सबसे बड़ा outlet होता था घर से निकल जाओ. Or even the fact that we were stepping out for work, was such a big stress buster. घर पे रहते रहते the same things get triggered and your moods just probably come out in a very bad way.
It does get monotonous, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the mood swing is primarily because as individuals, we are not able to step out very well.
It can be because of that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And Sushri, before ending the session, there's something that I would like to ask you.
Sure.
So, in today's time and age, according to you as a doctor, which area or what topic needs to be exposed more?
I think it's such a good question. I think exactly what you hit on. I would like people to talk more about mental health. And when it comes to mental health, primarily clinical depression, because, the statistics are almost alarming. They say that if there are 5 people in a room, all right, 1 person might be for sure experiencing depression. इसका मतलब अगर आप 10 लोगों के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, you can blindly tell that उनमें से 2 लोग ऐसे होंगे जो डिप्रेशन के शिकार हो रहे होंगे, but people have no awareness.
Okay, but let me, sorry to interrupt you, Sushri, but the thing is, I recently saw some post, I think it was posted by Karan Kumar, and it was very critical, which portrayed that nowadays it's not necessary that a person who you think is, looking sad, only that kind of person is depressed.
Right.
A person can be like totally, in best of their moods, and they look their best, but you never know what's going on inside them. So I think the symptoms have changed. It's changed with time.
Yeah, I see symptoms have, I'm not sure if symptoms have changed with time. I think it just boils down to the same thing. Yes, you're right. People always laugh, okay? They always cover up. So kabhi unhe pata nahi chalta, and I think they've always been doing this, right? And I think you make a very strong point ki काफी लोगों को नॉर्मल सैडनेस होती है जो नॉर्मल डे टू डे लाइफ में हम एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं, और काफी लोगों को एक क्लिनिकल लेवल पे सैडनेस होती है, तो दोनों में अंतर होता है. वी यूज द टर्म डिप्रेशन वे टू लूजली, you know. So sometimes, you know, you might just be having a bad day and you might be feeling sad, but when it comes to a clinical level of depression, there are very stark changes, and it may not be just because the person is smiling or laughing. Two things which happen, like I said, loss of appetite and loss of sleep, which usually comes out in ways like the person is looking tired, you know, they might be smiling and all, but they are still looking exhausted. You know, once in a while somebody is looking exhausted, that's acceptable. 2 हफ्तों के लिए, 3 हफ्तों के लिए लगातार आप एग्जॉस्टेड दिख रहे हो, एंड आपका वेट बहुत ज्यादा घट रहा है क्योंकि आप खा नहीं रहे हो, या आपका वेट बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ रहा है बिकॉज यू आर स्ट्रेस ईटिंग. So these two signs are biological signs of depression which people don't pay attention to. So if you are really trying to kind of find out who's depressed or not, like I like that campaign by Deepika Padukone a lot. You know, sometimes we don't know कि किसको है और किसको नहीं, लेकिन अगर आपको एक भी इंसान जरा सा भी थोड़ा उदास लग रहा है from his usual self, then दोबारा पूछो, please go ask. You know, just because एक बार इंसान ने बोल दिया कि हंस के कि okay, everything is right, everything is okay, दोबारा पूछो. You know, maybe the second time the person will confide in you.
I think people need to be more aware about these issues. They
Right.
need to be vocal about these issues.
Right, absolutely. And I feel even if there is no awareness, Pooja, just trying to stop you there just for 2 seconds. Even if there's no awareness, if somebody just looks a bit off, ask them twice, ask them thrice. You know, पहली बार में सब हंस के ही बोलेंगे कि सब कुछ अच्छा है, whether it's you or whether it's me, right? That is why I like the whole campaign around Dobara Poocho. It's a beautiful campaign.
True. So I think, yeah, it is our. I think we are under obligation to help others. As a human being, if we see someone going through, you know, some kind of trauma, some kind of stress, or somebody getting bullied or getting body shamed
Right.
on social media, I think we should immediately try to help them and not just think about ourselves.
Right. And you're right. Most people are like that. As humans, we have that instinct, you know. हमारे अंदर वो sensitivity होती है that we want to help most of the times, right? So it's just that sometimes we don't know any better, इसीलिए हमें help करने का मौका नहीं मिलता. But I think most humans are actually quite good, I would like to believe. They want to help others.
Okay. I suddenly recalled, I saw a very, very interesting video of Sadhguru recently, in which he was talking about stress. And he was like, if ever you get a thought of depression or suicidal thoughts, what you got to do is you got to cover your mouth and you got to pinch your nose. You got to hold your breath for 2 minutes, and trust me, your body's going to tell you that, no, dude, you're not going to die. You want to live. So to hell with your job, to hell with your boyfriend, to hell with whatsoever issue it is, but your body would want to live. And he also said that this is something, the heart is throbbing, and if this is in the right place, if this is working fine, then everything else makes sense and life is more meaningful. And rest everything, you know, money, job, and relationships, everything else is just accessory. And I was really impressed, and I really liked that video. And since we're talking about stress and depression, I thought it's apt for me to put that quote in about.
I think that was lovely. It was very lovely, and I think I can try that with my patients. I can tell them that, and probably they'll recover within a day.
All right, Sushri, it was lovely chat with you, and
Thank
we
you
had
so very much.
quite an insightful session.
Thank you,
And
Pooja.
I would like to tell my viewers also, if you have any questions, feel free to consult Sushri. You can go on their page also. You would find it as Humanizing Life on Instagram. And that's about it.
Thank you very much, Pooja, and I'm so glad you did this.
Yeah, and I think we've already covered most of the questions.
Right.
Because, okay, I had promised my viewers that we'll pick up 2-3 questions and we'll have them answered at the end of the discussion, at the end of this live session. So
Right.
I somehow can't. Let me check if there's something interesting that we need to answer. Smile बहुत अच्छी लगती है. Okay, thank you. But we are looking for some serious question here. How to overcome when your friend has left you and gone? I think we've covered that part as well. almost all those important questions. I'm sure it must be there in their mind. Yeah.
Right. And I want to really thank you, Pooja, for doing this, because when influential people like you, who have such a big impact on others, they take up such important topics, people start to take them so seriously. So thank you for talking with me today.
I'm more than delighted to be a part of this because, like I'm someone who's always looking forward. If there's an NGO or any event happening, I'll be more than happy to help them or reach out to them. So the feelings are mutual. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Pooja. Thanks a lot. It was lovely. Thank you. Stay safe.